What's up, guys? VCU 78, St. Joseph 69. This is On the Horn. I'm Joachim with the Richmond Times-Dispatch. Rams moved to 4-1 in Atlantic 10 play, 14-4 overall. They're in a first-place tie with George Mason atop the conference and led for 31-51 of this game, right? And I think that the conversations on social media afterward were that it's surely got to be the Jack Clark game, right? A guy who first of all, Pennsylvania native, and so he had a ton of family and friends here. We talked to Jack after the game, and he said that his mom texted him a few weeks ago asking about tickets for this game, so he had to ask about 5 different players if he could get some of their tickets. He had a bunch of family and friends sitting over here on the baseline and by the VCU bench, and we were talking to him over here outside the locker room after the game, and he had a bunch of loved ones surrounding him, so super cool to see him come up big time in a game where he had a lot of support. Cheltenham, Pennsylvania, where he's from, is only about a 20-minute drive from Philadelphia, so this is very much his hometown. And he had 18 points, 7 rebounds, and a couple of clutch threes in the second half when St. Joseph's cut the deficit. And again, VCU led for the vast majority of this game, but they were never, until the end, really firmly in control. It felt like St. Joseph's was in striking distance the whole time behind Xavier Brown, who was outstanding, 22 points, a game high, and Rasheer Fleming, he's going to be an NBA player, 16 points and 14 rebounds. Love his game. Those guys are both a lot of fun to watch tonight. But Jack Clark is the story, right? St. Joseph's cut this to 60-59 with about 6 minutes to play. I think this place got loud. I really enjoyed this arena, very vertical stands there on the baselines, and it was a fun atmosphere tonight in a huge game in the A10. Ryan Odom talked about it, that in order to win championships, you got to win games on the road in tough environments, and that this was very much that tonight. And VCU showed maturity behind Clark, who hit, I think it was, so after they cut it to 60-59, VCU didn't have the offensive rebounding game tonight that they've had in recent weeks, right? Only 9 on the offensive glass, and the rebounding margin in total was even at 42 apiece. But it still came up big for them in a couple of sequences, and the first one was the second of Jack's threes, I think, that there was a Max Scholger rebound and a Michael Bell rebound. It was really a third chance bucket that came off of, and that is the most confidence that I've seen Jack shoot a 3 with all season, right? He came into the game shooting 17% from beyond the arc on the season. He's settled into things offensively in the last few games by putting the ball on the deck and attacking a little bit and not settling for outside shots. But 3 of 4 from beyond the arc today, and that was enormous to put VCU back in control, up 66-59 with at that juncture about 5 minutes to play in this game, and then they were able to hold on down the stretch. Zeb Jackson was big at the free throw line. After St. Joseph started fouling, he ended up 8 of 8 at the line, and he had 14 points. VCU had 5 guys in double figures. Philip Russell, 16 points, game high 19 over on the plus minus. Phil made a huge impact today. 2 assists for him, was great defensively again. And then Max Scholger, 14 points, only 3 of 13 from the floor, but man, he just continues to impact games for VCU in various ways outside of his scoring acumen. 9 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal for Scholger tonight. Joe Bamasil, 11 points, 4 of 7 from the floor. He was big in the first half, and then kind of trailed off in the second half there. Zeb Jackson, 14 points, 7 rebounds, one of his best games of the year. He's obviously still, since those early season injuries, been working his way back into things and getting comfortable. And it was one of his best performances of the season. And outside of those 5 guys in double figures, the scoring was not particularly spread tonight. It was those 5 players that carried VCU offensively. And without all of the extra possessions that they got on the offensive glass that they've been so good at in these last few games, the difference tonight was really transition, which was interesting. 19-5 edge and fast break points for VCU. And they said, Philip Russell said after the game that they identified that in the scouting report as an area that they could attack St. Joseph, that they could run on these guys, and they were very much able to do that. And Odom especially said when they were able to finish on the glass and then get going in transition to get easy buckets, that was huge for them tonight. So an enormous win for VCU to come into a hostile environment here against the St. Joseph's team that has 3 really good players, right, in Eric Reynolds, Xavier Brown, and Rasheer Fleming. And to come away with a win, teammates Odom and Russell said that they were incredibly proud of Jack. I think everyone has been trying to speak confidence into him right after those early season shooting struggles. That was a big part of the narrative surrounding this team, right? So many people wanted him to stop settling for the outside shots and attack the basket. I think he's a good shooter, man. I think the stroke is there. When it comes out of his hand, it looks like it's going in. I think it became a confidence thing for him, why he was struggling so much from outside. And he does need to put the ball on the floor and attack the basket a little more, because he can do that too. And he was settling for too many outside shots early in the year, but the volume has gone down and the efficiency has gone up lately for him. And this is his best shooting performance of the year. 5 of 8 from the floor. Like I said, 3 of 4 from 3 and 5 of 6 at the free throw line. He was enormous in this game, as were the transition opportunities for VCU, who now moves into a tie with George Mason atop the conference, ahead of another tough road trip to Rhode Island on Tuesday, which VCU fans will know well in recent years has been a tough place for VCU to go. Rhode Island has kind of been a thorn in VCU's side over the past, 5-6 years or something like that now. I feel like it goes back to the Rhodes era and to the Will Wade era that Rhode Island's been tough for VCU. So Kingston will be a tough place to go on Tuesday, but the Rams have a lot of momentum right now after coming into what was a really fun atmosphere in Hagan Arena and getting a key conference road victory behind Clark's 18 points. Again, awesome just for the local kid with all the home support here to have a great game. There's a place called Jack Steaks right over here, right across the street. So fitting that Jack Clark would have a great game tonight and come down with the last rebound to end the game. And so he was the one that ran the clock out, and that seemed poetic and appropriate at the end of this game. VCU's had different guys step up in different moments throughout the season, right? Tonight it was Jack's night. Phil has had on and off nights. Max and Joe, it feels like they've been constants, but Zeb has had on and off nights. Firm, Luke Bamboye, Brandon Jennings was obviously huge the other night in the win over St. Louis. So VCU finding contributions from different guys in different games. This is a deep team. What's the bench points number? 19-7 edge and bench points for VCU. I don't remember the last time VCU's bench was outscored in a game. I'm sure it can't be that long ago, but it hasn't happened recently. Their depth has been huge for them to have different guys step up in different moments. I walked in during the national anthem, so I left Richmond a little late today, later than I should have, to get to this game. So I drove straight to Hagan Arena and have yet to check into my hotel. But I'm going to go get a Philly cheesesteak and then write some takeaways that'll be online in the morning. So VCU 78, St. Joseph 69, Rams to 14-4, 4-1 in Atlantic 10 play with a key road victory in a tough environment here in a fun atmosphere at Hagan Arena. So I've got the full game story online now. We'll have takeaways up in the morning. And that includes Jack Clark, Philip Russell, and Coach Odom interviews. So thank you guys so much for following along. And I'll see you Tuesday. I won't be going to Kingston for the Rhode Island game. I'll be covering that remotely. But I'm excited for that 9 p.m. game, which I know everyone hates, but I'm a night owl. And so that's my wheelhouse for VCU's next home game next Friday against St. Bonaventure, who's obviously very good. Rams lost 77-75 in Olean to begin conference play. So that'll be a huge game for both the Rams and Bonnies on Friday at what's sure to be a fun atmosphere in the Siegel Center. So thank you guys so much for following along. We'll see you next time.